Okay, we are live, and obviously India are too strong for this Sri Lankan side. India batted so beautifully today while chasing that modest total under 130 runs, and it was definitely a Shefali Verma show completely in Vizag. So to discuss about that, obviously Trishadi is with us from Vizag. Trishadi, again a decent bowling performance and then a fantastic batting show, especially from Shefali Verma. We have to talk about Jemimah Rodriguez's innings also, but first of all, Shefali Verma's innings. Overall, a very convincing win, 1 second and 2-0 in Vizag only.
Yeah, it's expected. I don't think that's a surprise for sure, especially at least I had predicted 5-0, so it's supposed to be 2-0. But I think before talking about Shafali or Jemmy, we should talk about the fact I think that how beautifully Kranti Gaur has actually made a habit of picking up wickets in the first over. I understand why we are starting with Shafali, but as a bowler, I think I ought to complain that you're not giving credit to the bowlers as usual.
No, no, yes, absolutely. I think Sri Lanka batters had a brilliant start. I think Chamariyadabatu was looking good, and the best thing that happened, better I will say, happened that for them that they managed to keep up that run rate at least up to that 10th and 11th over. I think after that Indian bowlers made a solid comeback, and I think that was the moment when Harmanpreet Kaur reintroduced Kranti Gaur, and Kranti Gaur did bowl superbly in the second and third spell also. So I think obviously bowlers did their job, pulling back things, and obviously that is why Sri Lanka didn't cross that 130 run mark. Because otherwise, I think Tushari at one stage when Sri Lanka were around, I think 70 or 80 runs after 10 overs, things were looking good for the visitors because we were thinking at least they will put up around 140 to 150 run mark, even wicket falls. But obviously, Indian bowlers did a fantastic job to pull the things off back.
Yes, also while Indian bowlers I think bowled very well, bowled to the field absolutely. The field was also well set. Kudos to Harman for that. But the other part also is I think Sri Lanka does not have, and that's very surprising to see the way Nilakshika is batting, for example. She's not that kind of a batter. She can hit the boundary, but we are not seeing her bat as freely. Hasini Pereira, yes, you are absolutely right. Even when Chamari Atapattu got out, I thought Hasini and Harshita had kept a good run rate going for some time. And then once the spinners were introduced, especially Sneh Rana, I think Sneh Rana was bowling a superb line, length, and speed variation. All three were on point as far as Sneh Rana is concerned. I think that is where Sri Lanka completely lacked, and this is something we spoke about after the first game also. That if you're batting first, and if you're already 70, 80 in the 10, 11 overs, in the rest of the 9 overs, you have to score at least more than 7, 8 runs per over, but that is definitely not happening. Even in the last 3 or 4 overs, there were no boundaries. There was a phase where 20, 22 balls, almost close to 4 overs, went by without, without anyone getting a boundary. So T20s ultimately, you don't need to be a Shafali Verma, but you have to try to be a Jemima Rodriguez at least. So finding gaps is a problem. And when they're finding gaps, the running between the wickets, I don't know who is calling who and what is exactly happening. But the running between the wickets, as far as Sri Lanka has been concerned, is nothing short of confusing. Because when you're watching it, Snehashish, most of us in the press box are like, why? Why are they running for this? And where were they planning to go? So it's a weird sort of batting right now that's happening, and Sri Lanka needs to sort it out. There's something wrong in the team, and the dressing room needs to sort that out.
Yes, absolutely. And when you talk about the running, I think the last over was the prime example. I think obviously Vaishnavi Sharma took two wickets, but two runouts were horrible, and it was so funny. Even Indian players were smiling after after completing those runouts. Yes, but Trishadi, what about Vaishnavi Sharma? Two wickets, two wickets obviously today. And do you see that the thing is happening that India looking to use her in the death overs today? She bowled those 20th and 18th over.
I think it's too early for that, I think it's too
Yes.
early to think that she will be used in the death overs or not. This is just her second game, and I think in the absence of Deepti, which I don't think will happen, will not be a frequent thing, or I at least hope that it's not a frequent thing. But
Mm.
in absence of Deepti, you needed someone to bowl in the death overs, and I'm glad that Vaishnavi is an option probably, but I would still want to see her bowling
Yes.
against the stronger sides, maybe. Having said that, against the stronger sides, it's not like you're gonna rest Deepti Sharma. So I get the ploy, and it's good that you are trying to create a backup. That in the power play you got in Sneh Rana, then you got in Sneh Rana in the middle overs to control the middle overs. So I think overall, well planned and well executed.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay, that's the bowling department, but we have to talk about the fielding also. Today, I think the ground fielding was much, much better than the first game. But again, I think Sri Charani on one or two occasions again didn't look comfortable while fielding, and overall the catching also. Overall, how do you see a slight improvement from the first game? Do you see that, Trishadi?
See, with the Indian team, you can't really say they have improved or they have gone backwards. They are in
Mm.
between, and they're inconsistent as a fielding unit. Today, they have held on to catches, and especially in last game, it was Charni who had dropped three catches.
Mm.
This game, three catches came to her. One she completely misjudged. I don't know where was she going with that Chamari to cut shot.
Yes.
Where exactly was she going to take that catch is a huge doubt
She was charging down.
in
She
my
was
mind.
charging down to that.
I'm guessing that happened because last time round, when that boundary
Ah,
catch, when that boundary catch had come to her, she
mm.
was a little late to react, which is why it then became difficult for her to catch. Now she has overcompensated and she has completely forgotten the fact or completely kept that fact out of her mind that the last one was a high catch. So the dip
Yes.
would happen in a place. This one was a flat cut shot. So it was
Mm.
always going to travel behind. Even in the boundary line, it would have been a tough catch had she been standing in the boundary line. And the other part is, be it Charni this time or be it Smriti Mandana the last game, for whatever reason, the Indian fielders are quite a bit inside. They're not in the
Mhm.
boundary line. And then to add to all this, Charni was charging down as if she would take it like she would take the catch from the
She was
bat itself. So
she was trying to catch that ball within the circle, not outside of the circle, within the inner circle. She was charging down to that ball. Yes, but I think
absolutely. Uh,
Amanjot
but
was superb with the field. Amanjot was superb.
yes, but I don't know whether Amanjot now does it because it's lucky or something. Why does she play juggle around with the ball and then finally, takes it? But glad that she took it because that was an important catch. Chamari
Yes,
Atapattu today was looking absolutely in form, and had she gone on, then this could have been a very, very different game altogether. But also talking
absolutely.
about Charni, after that, Charni took two catches. She was the one who caught. And in fact, it's interesting that Vaishnavi's wickets were both
Yes,
culprits of the last game. It was Charni and Smriti Mandana, and both times Vaishnavi was like, please, yeah, please, le
yes.
lo. Okay.
When the ball went up to Charan, Vaishnavi was like, please, God, is bar pakal le. God, is bar pakal. She was praying to God. Thankfully, Charan didn't miss
And
this
also,
time around.
Charani is also a kid. So when she took
Ah,
it, she was also like, oh my God, I'm so relieved. But thankfully, the first one was cotton gold. In fact,
yes, yes.
it was up and Charni was supposed to catch. For a second, Charni did look around. I did not understand who was she searching for in that. She is the one who had to take the catch, right? It was
Ah.
straight back to like it was back to the bowler. But thankfully, she did take. But one area which has still not been improved, that's the wicket keeping.
Yes, yes, absolutely. We have to see where things go in the upcoming games, but now move the focus move to the batters, and
Yeah,
obviously, I think
now
Smriti
Shafali.
Mandana again. Yeah, again another off day for Smriti Mandana. Again, Tushari same template, fast ball from the spinner, going for that release shot, mistimed and got out. I think it is becoming an habit now. But Shefali Verma, what a knock, unbeaten. Today, two DC teammates done the job for Team India. Jemima, the new captain, and the opener,
Yeah.
Shefali Verma, Trishadi.
And I'm thinking in the press box, oh Lord, but please let them take this partnership to WPL as well. This is how we won. But this is what I think should answer a lot of people that at one point Jemmy was striking at 180, Shafali was striking at 180, and both were playing two very different kinds of games, but both were striking at 180. And this is something that the youngsters have to learn from Jemima Rodriguez. If they do not learn this game from Jemima Rodriguez, you might not get every Richa, a Shafali Verma in every nook and corner. But as someone who has been a coach, as someone who has been a player, women cricketers are far more crafty and more technically sound, maybe not brute power. So use that technique and find the gap. There was a slip in place. Chamari Atabatu had a slip in place, and that late cut was still hit. It still went for runs. That's the confidence that Jemmy now has. I get it, but still, she's playing well. She's finding the gap, and she's playing straight. Something
Yes,
that Sri Lankan batters adapted a little, but only the three of them: Chamari Ataputu, Hasini Pereira, and Harshita Samarev.
yes, yes, absolutely. I think
And as
straight
far
down
as
the ground,
Shafali is
that six
concerned,
was fantastic.
yeah. And look, when Shafali gets going, anyway, I was thinking, when will the match end? Because what happens is you have to write a match report, then you have to do the show. So that suddenly, by the time I finish dinner, I'm saying the match is over. So yeah. Mhm.
Yes, yes, absolutely. But this is Shefali is all about. When it is hard day, she can take the game on her shoulder and complete the match for you. I think
Yeah.
this is what we always love to see about Shefali Verma. Just one thing that we always wish, that consistency. I just hope that she continues to score this kind of run in maximum of the matches. So let's see what happens to with that. But Trishadi, overall a fantastic win, 2-0, and now we move to Kerala. I think your prediction is going to be right. I predicted 4-1. I give at least one match to Sri Lanka, but this Sri Lankan team is too much weak for this India. Uh, Tushadi, do you played a huge factor in the second innings? Do you play, or just India batters are too good against this weak Sri Lankan bowlers?
See, Dew was a huge factor in the first innings also. When it's a 7 p.m. game, it's not like it's
Yes.
completely chalk and cheese. It's not a day and night game. It's almost the same. But I think it's just that the Sri Lankan bowlers last game were still trying to bowl to the stumps. Once Shafali gets going, or once say someone like Chamari Atavatu gets going, you don't have answers too quickly. So that is what happened today. Absolutely, Shafali Verma hit them, and then at least if you can get wickets from the other end, that helps you slow down the run rate. But the moment Jemmy came in after Smriti got out, she was in complete control of the game. She looked more in control of the game at that point than anybody else in the ground. So that 26 or 15 kind of broke the absolute backbone, or if any little hope Sri Lanka had of taking this match to at least the 15th over. You cannot, they couldn't have won it, but at least in the 15th over.
Yes.
So I don't think it is about view. I think it is more about the Sri Lankan players getting their plans right. While they had the correct plans, in the interval, I was seeing they were practicing for Smriti, they were practicing the usual leg stump line. It will be on leg stump. But instead of bowling on leg stump, they started bowling outside leg stump. So there was wide, there was no ball. You already have just scored 128. And then if you start giving extras, uh, you're not helping your cause in the beginning. And once India were 29 for no loss in 3 overs, After that, where were you anyway going to stop them?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Very convincing win. Okay, Trishadi, I think nothing much to discuss from the
Let's
game. I
take
think
comments.
thanks to Sri
Yeah.
Lanka. Thanks to Sri Lanka for that. And now we move focus to the comments.
True. Okay. Anand says if Indian team has any hope of winning the next year T20 World Cup in England, they need to improve on their catching efficiency and Richa Ghosh's wicket-keeping skills need to be improved a lot.
I think two super points,
Um,
and there is no
we
denial
agree.
about
Yeah.
that.
Satvik, you're just not understanding what I'm trying to say. See, Trisha, I was saying you before the match that Sri Lanka needs to score 180 not to win, but to give a fight. I think now 180 is also not enough for this Indian team. No, you are still wrong, Satvik.
No, 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 no.
You have to first put 150 on board. You are putting 128 on board. When you're coming out to bat, think of this, Satvik. When you're coming out to bat and you are seeing, I just have to score 129. Whereas if it's 150 on the board, you are saying, okay, I have to maintain a 7.5 run rate per over at least in every single over. These are completely two very, very, different way of approaching the innings. That you have to understand. Aniruddha Datta says, Sneashish, take this. Sri Charani is a weak link in the field. Poor Vaishnavi had to wait this long for a wicket, and Richa is still below par with her keeping. Have the boundary lines been pulled outside now? Outside?
Oh, outside. I don't know what you mean, but
No,
I think
talk
yeah,
about
with the
Sri
Richa
Charani
point,
being fielding.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think with the Richa point, we both agree, as Trishari mentioned earlier also, that Richa needs to improve her wicket keeping skills. And that, I think again, as I was talking about in regarding the fielding in the pre-match show also, the team management knows that Richa herself knows that, and that is why since that World Cup, Uday World Cup, I am saying we both saw Richa
yeah,
putting hard work on that. So she's trying her best.
yeah.
Hopefully, with hard work, with day by day, we will see more improvements. With Sri
Mm,
Charani, see, I think there is no deny about that. That Srichani is a weakling right now in this playing level. In this playing level, if you want to point out one fielder that is not having a good day, that is Srichani. Because obviously, when you are going, you charging them to catch that ball, you are definitely having a bad day as a fielder. Yes, but
No, you did
but
not
I think
understand. She wanted to. You are wrong, Sneha. She wanted to take the catch even before Atabatu hit it. So
yes,
she was
yes,
charging towards Atabatu.
short forward leg from
Guys,
third
by the
man to
way,
short forward leg.
both of us, yeah, guys, by the way, both of us actually, like Sri Charani, the player, we are just
Yeah.
having fun. That's all. Don't get
Yes, yes.
extremely,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah,
See, the point that you need to understand, I think we all need to understand that she is a kid. So these mistakes can happen. I think she has a long career
correct.
ahead. As a bowler, there is no deny that she is going to be an asset for the team if she remains to be more clinical, remains to maintain her ability, remains to maintain improve her skills
Mm,
because she has a lot of skills
yeah,
and she can be one of the
yeah,
best, one of the top bowlers for India going forward. So there is there is no chance that India will be dropping her just because of her fielding. But if this continues, then in the
mm,
long term, it will be difficult for herself only because many more players are waiting.
yeah,
If someone like some just think someone like Radha Yadav takes wickets in domestic cricket or in WPL she does well, then team management will think to include Radha Yadav in place of N. Charani because 2 overs from Radha
yeah,
Yadav and a fantastic fielder Radha Yadav. So options are there. So these
yeah.
things I think Srijani needs to understand for herself. Otherwise, she is a fantastic bowler. There is no deny about that. I think with the time she will improve her fielding.
Yeah. Rupali Bhatia says, heard that Jemmy has been appointed DC captain. Your views?
Yeah.
Fantastic choice, future Indian captain, and will be a good dress rehearsal for her. When I say future, I am not saying in the next World Cup itself. Maybe after that. In ODI
Yes.
setup, she should definitely be handed over the captaincy. Nothing against Smriti Mandana. I just think 4 years down the lane, not 100% sure if
Mm.
I mean, for me, you should hand it over to Jemmy because at least with Jemmy you will get next two ODI World Cups, so you have that luxury. Um, Yeah, so I think it's a very good choice and something that Rupali, all of us were expecting. Aniruddha is saying Sri Lanka may not be able to test this Indian team. ये best है. Sir, आप समझ गए इस बात को. What happened to the likes of Asha Shobna, Minumani, Saika, Saima? All of them have fallen by the way side. Snehashish.
See, Asha Shubhana was injured. I think and now she has make a comeback in a domestic circuit. She has played few matches, taken wickets, and the best point that has happened with Asha that she has scored some runs also in domestic cricket. I think a huge WPL season is waiting for her. I think she's going to play for UP
Yeah.
Warriors if I'm not wrong for in the upcoming season.
Yeah.
So I think a huge WPL season is
Yeah.
waiting for her. India will need leg spinner going forward. Definitely, they will need. I don't know in the World Cup there will be a place for a leg spinner or not, but going forward in future, definitely a leg spinner will be needed, be it in the 50 over format, be it in this T20 format. So I think Asha Shobana will look to be the front runner in that race. And if you and you have a Saima, I think Saima has fallen behind because of her pace and inconsistency. I will say. First of all, she has not have that pace enough to penetrate the batters at the top quality batters. Only with the swing you cannot manage. You cannot take wickets in regular interval. Renuka Singh Thakur is a top player because of her consistency. Saima Thakur has not managed to show that consistency also. So I think that is also a part. Minu Mani and others, I think they are yet to convince team management that they are ready for the senior player. I think they are playing consistently in the India A setup. They are performing also, but I think few more series, few more performance might make team management think, okay, let's try them. But before the T20 World Cup 2026, I am not seeing these players getting enough chances. I think after that World Cup, you might see all these players coming and getting their chances.
True. Manikanta Churi says we are not going to drop Richa before 6 months of World Cup. Where is the question of dropping her coming?
No chance.
Decision could have done after the World Cup. Are who will keep and bat? You are preparing G Kamalini. So I don't know. A lot of people got my video wrong. I did not say that she's replacing her right now. But there is
Yeah.
replacement. It's not like she's irreplaceable, was my point.
Yeah.
And that's why she has to hone her skills. Uh, because you cannot have G Kamalini and Richa playing because Richa is not a good fielder either. So,
Yes.
yeah, not sure if we are going to win another World Cup with poor wicket keeping skills. See, just the wicket keeping cannot be the factor.
The
Maybe
only
someone
reason to
else from
lose the
playing
World
11 to keep.
Cup.
Maybe someone else from playing 11 to keep. Only Shafali can keep wickets, and I think for donkey's years she hasn't kept wickets. Last time when did she keep wickets? I don't remember. But yeah, nobody can keep wickets. See, wicket keeping is a very, very specialized skill. It's not like everybody can do that. But I think that is all the more reason that Richa should actually. See, I can't even say she should practice harder because she was practicing today even before the game. Something is going wrong. Maybe, not maybe, in anticipation, she's getting up very early and that's why she's missing the ball. Having said that, I don't think there will be a lot of problems in England because in England the bounce will be way more. So maybe that is something that we need to consider. That for Richard it won't be that difficult in English wickets because of the bounce. But yes, Richard does definitely needs to improve her wicket keeping skills because G Kamalini is there. She's being developed and. You never know if she continues this way, she can be finding herself in the wrong side of things.
Mm, yes.
Rupali Bhatia asked a very good question, Snehashish. Today, Sneh Rana bowled well. Once
Mm.
Deepthi is well, who will sit out?
In Sricharani, I think. I think in Sricharani. I think Sricharani will not
Hmm,
play 5 matches.
very
I,
interesting. Very
yes,
interesting.
I think because today definitely
Yeah,
Sriyana bowled pretty well. I think the ball that dismissed, Chamari Adapatu, the way she tossed up that ball,
oh,
I
it
think
was
it was
beauty.
fantastic pace variation.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
true. Anirudh Datta says this team will get tested only if Sri Lanka wins the toss and puts India to bat. I completely agree with this. The next question is very interesting. Sharanya Haldar says, Trishadi, we have a discussion completely unrelated to this series, and we can do this later also. What went wrong for Australia after Lanning's retirement in ICC tournaments? A very, very good question. We can do this today because the match has finished early and there is enough time. Good night, Uncle. And there is enough time for this discussion. I think what went wrong, Sharanya, what I felt was in Lanning's presence, the overall control in the team was way better. And when I say control, I'm not saying that Aliza Healy is not able to control the team. What Aliza Healy's problem is I do not think she's a good captain, but the bigger problem is she's not consistent enough. One of the reasons that people like Mithali or people like Meg Lanning, I think it was easier for them as captains to kind of lead the side is because you're leading by example. You are scoring, you are doing your skill perfectly well because none of them bowl. So when you look at Aliza Healy, there are matches that she has won single-handed, and then there are quite a few matches continuously when she has not performed at all. And then comes the other factor that I think Australia's coaching staff needs to be looked at. It's not at the players alone. For example, I'm still clueless what is Talia McGrath doing in the playing 11. At number 8, she doesn't get enough time to bat, and she has been batting horribly. She barely bowls. So what exactly is her role? Just because at one point Aliza Healy will retire and then you're probably planning to make her the captain. You can't be keeping her in the team. So I think the team was a problem. For example, in the semi-finals itself, I think I had tweeted this to Bharat's our team's Bharat's response that why did you play Sophie Molyneux? Clearly, Sophie Molyneux was
Yeah.
injured because she did not play in the WBBL the first few matches. Um, the first match itself, she said that I'm not going to play, which means she was unfit from the beginning. So if she was unfit from the beginning, why did you play her? Who is taking these decisions? Aliza Healy herself was unfit, but Healy
Mm.
played. So these things, I think Lanning had a much calm presence and she took those decisions very, very professionally, which is what Australia is known for. I think what happened after Lanning was a lot of emotional play came into existence, which is something that does not work in the Australia and English setup. They are the ones who use their head more, and we are the ones who use our heart more. So I think that is a whole thing which changed, and Australia has to get a grip on that very, very soon.
Yes.
Sharanya, I hope I
So,
have answered your question.
yes, Vishal, I just want
Well,
to add one more point.
say, yeah, please.
do, do you think that not only Alyssa Haley, do you think inconsistency from Ellis Perry also has affected because she has stopped bowling also
Oh,
regularly
yes.
because of injury? And
Yes,
to,
absolutely.
if you remember, for the
Absolutely.
last 1 or more than 1 year, the match winners have been around
Yeah,
either female, either Annabelle Sutherland,
yeah,
either Ashley Gardner, or maybe
yeah,
Alana King, whenever she gets some
yeah,
chances. So Ellis Perry's
yeah.
inconsistency also become a problem because she bats at number 3.
Huge. Yeah, it's a huge problem because you don't have a Rachel Haynes anymore.
Mm.
So if you don't have Rachel Haynes anymore, you don't have Meg Lanning anymore. A lot, in fact, I would say whatever Australia played, a huge credit in the batting department should go to Beth Mooney, and in the
Yes.
bowling department has to go to Annabelle Sutherland.
Yes.
I think two of them were
Yes.
outstanding. Otherwise, there have been some individual good performances, but these two have
Yes.
been consistently outstanding in one particular skill. When you speak of Annabelle Sutherland, again, the batting didn't stand up. So she
Mm.
basically played the role of a bowler. She did
Bowler.
not play one match, yes, but other than she could not play the role of an
Yes.
all-rounder. The entire team was inconsistent. But under Meg Lanning, that situation was completely different because, see, Meg Lanning scored runs, yes, but the team played around her. And that
Yes.
becomes very important. Here, when Perry was out of form, there is
Mm.
nobody to play around. There is no pivot in the team. Now, Beth
Mm.
Mooney,
Mm.
with
Mm.
Healy also getting out, with Perry also getting out, what is the role that she can keep playing? So that is
Yes.
where I thought, it became an issue. And as I said, um, Why not Ashley Gardner as your next captain? Why think of Talia McGrath and keep giving her chances? I thought that was extremely unprofessional, and I have been saying this over and over again that it's extremely unprofessional of Australia to do that. It's very unlike Australia to do that, and that's why probably they played the way they did in the World Cup. I don't think they were convincing at all. Like Australia against every single side has been clinical. We have been used to that Australia. Clearly, Meg Lanning, the captain, has not got enough credit for that. That is something that Australia needs to learn, understand, and give her a credit because essentially, we talk about how our legends have been not respected, they aren't generally respected, so on and so
Mhm.
forth. But Meg Lanning hasn't got the respect that she deserved from Australia either, which was very clear the way
Yes.
she walked out.
Mm.
Um, Okay, getting back to the match, Hanumati says Richa keeping in Harmanpreet form is a concern. I wanted to ask you, Snehashish,
Mm.
what was that shot Harman went for and why? When I am
Yes.
out of form and the match is done and dusted, why would I play that shot?
Yes, yes. I also didn't understood that why she went for that cheeky shot. But yeah, and the ball. It was a Yorker ball, right? And the ball was completely
Yeah.
wrong for that shot. So I don't know,
Also, it was
but yeah,
premeditated. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It was premeditated, but I will not say right now that there is a concern because she is not getting enough time to bat or not enough time to show anything that okay I have to go and run. So I think we just wait for two, 3 more matches. If still she is not scoring, then we'll talk about her form.
In the last seven matches, 7 innings, she has not got beyond 100 runs in 7 innings
Yes,
taken together.
yes,
At number four.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Sports fan says, amazed, amazed to know that Deepthi played 123 straight international games before today. Last she missed game in World Cup 2022. Incredible. Absolute workhorse. Absolute workhorse. And I cannot stress on the fact that she's a superstar. She's an absolute superstar.
Absolutely.
People talk a lot about how she looks or how unfit she looks, but you cannot be unfit and play 123 straight international games because every single game is exhausting, it's taxing. So kudos to Deepthi. Bhanumati says India has managed to somehow win the World Cup despite her poor wicket-keeping skills, but we know have to do something now have to do something else. India managed to win the World Cup despite a lot of poor things that we did, but thankfully
Yes,
a few good things that we did at the correct time stuck for
it
us.
was enough. Yes, it
Yes,
was
we have.
enough.
But yes, the wicket keeping is a concern. Snehashish, the
Mhm.
next question, this is a question that you and I both don't have an answer as of now. What are conditions to expect from Trivandrum? I am right now standing outside the Vizag Stadium. The moment I land in Trivandrum, of course, tomorrow night I'm going. So day after tomorrow, I will tell you guys what's the conditions to expect. Because
Yes.
right now I really don't have any idea. And the second question, Snehashish, is very interesting. If, say, Sri Lanka has a good WPA, can she
Mm.
fit into the squad? And fit means not her fitness. Like, where does she fit in the
Mm.
squad? In place of who?
I think the Sri Lanka's what are the what Sri Lanka is a right arm off spinner, right?
Off spinner.
So the yeah,
Yeah,
so the battle is against Sri Lanka. Obviously, you cannot replace Dipti Sharma. Dipti
yeah,
Sharma will play definitely.
yeah,
So the battle
yeah,
is between Sri Lanka and Sri Lanka Patil. You
yeah.
cannot replace N Sri Charani with Sri Lanka Patil. You cannot have three off spinners
No,
in your squad. Obviously, you need to have
yeah,
variety. So I think it's definitely Snehana versus Sriyanka Patil. But still, if you ask me,
yeah.
I think after so many uh,
Snera.
after yeah, Snehana should be there. After a long gap, after a long injury layoff, Sriyanka Patil is making a comeback. Give her time. Even if she have a fantastic WPL with RCB, give her time. Let's try her after the World Cup. Then go for her.
Hmm.
Don't try to include her as soon as possible after a WPL, because give her time. Shreyana has not done anything wrong, just to miss that World Cup just for a fantastic WPL for someone like Shriyanka Patil. So I think you have to go with Shreyana instead of Shriyanka Patil. Give her time. Let's try her after the World Cup.
Yeah, Bhanumati. But the thing is, G. Kamalini can't come in for Richa as she doesn't have the power that Richa possesses. Also, Kamalini mainly plays at top order, and so I don't think she's a like-to-like replacement. That Jemmy was also a top order. She was put at 5. She adjusted. Deepthi was a top order batter. She has been put at 8. She has adjusted. Kamalini can adjust as well. For MI, she has finished the game. What are you talking about? Her not being, not having a power. This is exactly what I'm telling you guys. The problem is there's too much of power hitter in your mind. Today,
Mm.
this is something that Murli Karthik also pointed out in the commentary box that look, we know Shafali Verma as the hitter, right? Shafali Verma is going at 180, and we know Jemima Rodriguez as not the power hitter but the placement person. She's also going at 180. So you guys somehow are still into that denial mode. Um, and Bhanumati also says that Richa initially wasn't a keeper. Eh? She was layer forces to take it up. Nobody forced anybody to take anything up. Eh? I don't think so. She was a
And
keeper. I can assure you she was a keeper.
who better than you to assure that? Okay, next question.
I know. I am assuring you she was a keeper. Why? Maybe someday. I'll tell you why. Not today. This is a very interesting question from Tiger Rose Yadav. And if his name is Tiger Rose actually, then a very interesting name as well. Trisha, we need one more power hitter down the order. Which batter can we expect from WPL that can fill? I would say batting all round. Sorry, you need an all rounder, not batting all rounder. You need an all rounder, preferably a pace bowling all rounder, maybe who can be a big hitter. Kashvi is a very good option.
Actually,
Yeah, Kashvi is a good option. Other than that, अभी तो यार उतना तो याद नहीं आ रहा है. But
I think Kashvi. For me also, I think
Kashvi is the
Kashvi is the
first one in my
option.
mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, sports fan is asking Snehashish, ODI captaincy change will be done in Australia series.
Let's see. I think we both have said that if you want to change the captaincy in ODI format, do right now, because
Do
you
it
need
right.
to give the
Yeah.
captain some time. You are starting a fresh cycle of that 4 year cycle for the next World Cup, ODI World Cup.
Yeah.
So make the new captain, give her the
Yeah.
team, and give her that full 4 year time. I think that will be beneficial for both the team and for that particular player also. So let's see if it happens or not. As of now, personally, if you ask me, I don't think it is going to happen. But let's see.
Manikanta Suryas has captaincy in women's cricket different from men's cricket. Harman
Hmm.
at this age is still captain. What has age got to do with it?
Yeah.
Tiger Rose Yadav, will Vaishnavi be in squad in Australia series? Yes. As she'll not be playing WPL does not matter despite these good performance against Sri Lanka minnows.
Hmm.
क्या है WPL का क्या है? I think the selectors have shown that yes, WPL matters, but also these performances will matter. Sri Lanka batters are not grounding their bats. They have been run out continuously, keeping their bats in the air. After 3-0, India may experiment with Kamalini and others. Who are these others? There's only Kamalini there to experiment with. The other two sitting out is Renuka and Deepthi. What experiment will you do with them? They are already your top players. Yes, Kamalini, I'm quite sure. I won't be surprised if Kamalini comes in next game. Also, uh, because India, I'm quite sure is going to win the series. Bhanumati, I don't think Charani would be dropped. You can't play in two off spinners, correct? That's the reason why Radha played ahead of Sneh in semi-finals. A World Cup, Charani and Vaishnavi would hold on to their like places. Aniruddha says, by the way, does Deepthi Sharma still represent Bengal in domestic cricket? Nope. Um, Pavan Suresh, hi guys, hello. Aniruddha
Hello.
Datta says Talia Meghra is just. Okay, this is interesting. Aniruddha Datta says Talia Magra is just in the team for being the captain, just like the sky in current form. Yeah, it's
Okay.
okay.
Let's avoid this ball.
Sports fan also. Also, sometimes feel Healy is brash in her statements. Gives similar feeling what England basketball team does, although it's nothing to do with results. Healy has always been like that, you know. There is
Yes.
a English term called foot in the mouth. You know,
Nah.
there are certain people who are known as okay, so and so has their foot in the mouth. Means they will not think twice before saying something. And you will say
Yeah.
that's honesty. For me, I don't think that's honesty. At times, you have to control your honesty and how you put it. You can be honest with someone, but you also have to put it in a way that you don't make the other person feel small, or you know, you don't make the other person feel stupid or something of that sort. I think Healy quite a few times has come across as you would wonder, you know, most people like Healy's batting, but they will never understand why does she speak the way she does. And mostly when she is actually in women's cricket, she is giving interview. If you see her commentary in men's cricket, I think it's very different. And actually, I like listening to her. Bhanumati is saying Talia Magrad's selection is justified as it is based on her class. She has played many terrific knocks and has the captaincy skills. Just see, even when Harmanpreet Kaur fails, the team persists. Are you comparing in the Indian team with the Australian team? There isn't too many. Well, first of all, Harmanpreet Kaur at one point should not have been persisted with. She was lucky because at that time there weren't any, probably the captain thought, the coach thought that there wasn't anyone to replace her. But in general, I don't think that the kind of form that Harman has shown over the years also, she should have been persistent. Same goes for Talia Magra. Now you will come back to me and say Harman has won the World Cup, but that too, you know, only one good innings. A captain winning the World Cup did not even make it to the World Cup team of the tournament. So I understand, but you cannot compare Harmanpreet Kaur in Indian setup to Talia Magra in Australian setup. Indian setup,
Yeah.
you will probably not get too many options for a Harmanpreet Kaur kind of power hitting. But Talia Magra bowling and batting option, you get plenty. She played many terrific knocks many years ago. Um, okay, let's take two, three questions and then go. I don't know why RCB bought Radha. Um, Harmanpreet doesn't give a damn about her batting in bilaterals. Lol. Well, how is your takeaways on current Indian women coaches apart from Amol? Is Amol also batting coach? If not, who is? Do we have to blame fielding coach due to poor fielding? Munish Bhatt is trying his best.
Yes.
That is all of us can say. Agree with you. I feel Harman doesn't care about somehow she gives her best in ICC matches. If that is the case, then that's extremely poor attitude from her. And I don't think that's something to be proud of. And I
No,
also
no,
don't think that that is something that she thinks that way. I do not think
no.
that Harmanpreet Kaur does not give a damn about bilaterals, and she's like, only when it's World Cup I will perform. No,
No,
it's just that probably Harman is not as big a batter as she has been touted to over the years, and that's about it. Um, why are we not talking about Kiran Navgire? Hariharanji, we are not talking about Kiran Navgire because Kiran does have the power. Kiran is a top order batter. Who is she going to replace? Smriti or Shafal? Nobody, right? If you talk about her finishing skills, then I think she needs to be consistent in WPL first. She hasn't been.
Hmm.
All the options that we have discussed have been so inconsistent that then considering them as somebody else's replacement becomes a very difficult situation.
Yes.
Snehashi, before any other comment comes, please close the show. There are too
Yes,
many
yes,
mosquitoes
absolutely.
here.
Yes, absolutely. Trishadi has to go to the to her hotel. Thank you guys for joining in. Fantastic win for India. Done and dusted. All the things done and dusted in Vizag. 2-0 for India. Now focus moves to Kerala, Trivandrum. Trishadi will be there with all the latest update from there. Thank you, Trishadi, for joining in. And obviously, we'll meet you in the pre-match show of the third match, third T20I. Till then, take care and enjoy everything that is coming on Depth Sports regarding all the sports of the world. Thank you.